What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here. Phew, today, Hanks for Fun here. I hope you guys have been having a great day and enjoyed Father's Day yesterday. Just wait till you hear what I've got in store for this channel in 2018. But first, where the heck have I been the past several weeks? And why no public uploads? Well, I was dealing with pneumonia for several weeks, which messed up my voice and sapped most of my energy. To make things even worse, my main editing laptop crashed and I lost half a dozen unfinished videos. I've resolved that issue and I should not lose footage again, but unfortunately unfinished videos are lost. The recovery did not work, sadly. Anyway, I have some great news and information to share about this channel in the rest of the year. I have a bunch of epic adventures planned, invested in some new gear to better bring you along with me. I'm building a new studio and I'm building a secret weapon. Okay, so first up, the trips I have planned for 2018. One, I'm going to Sedona, Arizona, and it's not related to any Sony product kickoffs. Two, I'll be sailing out to an island or two for some hammocking goodness. I'll be going to several backpacking trips. I'm hoping to launch my first annual 3 Dads in the Woods coming soon. I might be going to the mountains in upstate New York. I have several do-it-yourself videos planned. My youngest daughter and I are planning another sparky short film. And drumroll, I just got back from 2 weeks solo in Idaho. I was in the White Knob and Sawtooth Mountains of Idaho, peaking almost 12,000 feet. I shot the Milky Way there in almost pitch black conditions. I hiked, scouted, orienteered, backpacked, hammock, did landscape, macro, astro, wildlife photography. This place had bald eagles, antelope, pronghorn, moose, elk, bear, wolves, wolverines, mountain lions, etc. One backpacking trip involved me making 2 separate trips up the mountain to get my hammock stand up there, so I could be the first person to hammock on that treeless mountain. I then used that dark remote location to do the best Milky Way photography I have ever experienced, and I managed to put my hammock in the foreground. I even did a spectacular Milky Way time-lapse where night turned to daytime when the moon rose over the nearby mountain, looking similar to a sunrise. It was really cool. Another one of my backpacking trips involved me orienteering my way over a couple of ridges to meet up with a trail to a lake that was at 9,100 feet, with mountains around it that were still a couple thousand feet higher. Although June, this lake was still frozen over and I had to backpack through waist-deep snow to get to it. I was able to get some great shots of a bald eagle that lived there. Throughout all of my adventures in the wilderness of Idaho, I also used my Mavic Air drone for some high bitrate 4K cinematic footage. I cannot wait for you to see some of this epic drone footage. I've recorded around 2 terabytes of 4K footage. 2 terabytes of 4K footage, audio, and photos from this trip, with about 12 videos in post right now from the Idaho trip. To get the most out of these adventures this year and to bump up the production quality of this channel, I have invested in some camera gear that I hope will make you feel like you were with me, experiencing these adventures too. 1. The Edelkrone slider. This is the Edelkrone Slider 1 Pro. This gets me hopefully epic parallax movements. It's like having a cameraman on site with a sliding dolly. I think you'll like the effect this brings to normal footage. Also on this device was another device. This is the Genie Mini for panning. I've been using this motion control to let you see what I'm seeing, yet allows me to address the camera still even when driving. So I've been really liking that little motion controller. third thing I added was the Mavic Air. Of course, I had to get this little guy skinned up. This is for more cinematic shots and better tracking. Introducing Marty the Mavic Air and a new brother to Sparky the Spark, which I now use as a backup drone. Well, you'll see more of this guy soon. Alright. And also, no, that's not a hairpiece. That is it's a dead cat for when it's windy out. So this is the Zoom H2N. It's a 5 mic, 4 channel, 360-degree spatial audio recorder. I'm using this mic to record 3D audio and immerse you into the scene. I've really enjoyed the ambience this brings, and it's if you put headphones on some of these videos I'll be releasing soon, you'll feel like you're immersed in the same place I was at the time. That's my theory, at least. And then for resolving some of the issues I've had in the past, I got the Cloner Alliance Flint LXT to record 1080p of my camera's HDMI output. Let's see if I can get this in focus for you. There you go. So it's just a little HDMI device that records, and his job is to take HDMI input, record it out to my cell phone, and this is an old, I don't know, 2 or 3 upgrades ago cell phone. So I made this little cold shoe rig here to hold this old smartphone, which now doubles as a monitor and is where the 1080p video is recorded to from the Flint LXT device. This makes footage of my camera perfect and frees my hands up. So, can't wait for you to start seeing that. This will be especially handy on wildlife photography, where there's a lot of times waiting on the shots, and I'll be able to bring you along and let you see the behaviors and what led up to the shots, because otherwise most of the landscape photography videos I've seen out there, it's just showing you all the photos that were taken. They don't have a good way to get the good video, so hopefully that'll get that, as well as any of the landscape photography that I've done in the past. You'll be able to see exactly what my camera is seeing. So I didn't have any luck holding like a camera up behind my camera to try to record the screen, so it's an exact copy of whatever is coming out of the camera. I've also broke ground on building a new studio. In order to better organize all my backpacking and camera gear, the studio will have an area just for gear. The idea being I can more quickly grab what I need for a trip. There will also be a dedicated recording area just for filming 3-minute Thursdays, how-tos, do-it-yourself, so forth and so on. There will be sound dampening and lighting all set up, as well as a lit green screen and stage area. There'll be a sound room for recording voiceovers, and of course a video and sound editing work desk. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video series on building this studio, literally from the ground up. Concrete, walls, roof, insulation, electrical, lighting, interior walls, sound dampening, storage, organization, etc. It'll be all built from the ground up. If you're interested, I could record the process. Lastly, I've been building a secret weapon. I bought a 2017 Ford Transit Connect van, and I have converted it for long trips and quick after-work overnighters. I had some strict requirements for it to be my daily commute vehicle, though. One, it must get decent gas mileage. And so far I've been getting 30 to 36 miles to the gallon commuting in the van. And I also got 29.3 mile per gallon average to Idaho and back. And that was not quite 5,000 miles, but it was 4,700, 4,800 miles. And there was many places along that route where 80 miles an hour was the speed limit. So I thought that almost 30 miles a gallon was really good. 2, it has to be short enough and just under 6 foot 7 inch high so that I can park in any parking deck in Atlanta and go through drive-throughs and so forth and so on. 3, it must be easy to maneuver and park as needed. I also had some requirements in order to use it for long trips and last-minute getaways. 1, it needs to haul all my gear, both backpacking and cinematography. 2, I need to be able to sleep in it comfortably. 3, I need to be able to cook, eat, drink in it. 4, I need to have a secured lockbox. 5, I also would like to be able to head out right after work with everything needed to support either a backpacking trip and or a photography shoot. 6, I must be able to charge up all my camera devices. 7, I must be able to work on my laptop editing videos and photos. I've been filming a short series on doing this conversion and have most of it completed and filmed. The series is just to document my conversion though, and the conversion process, and would end when the conversion was done. Though you'll likely see this van in many of my videos in B-roll or here and there in the video as I use it. So far I have filmed the following episodes. 1, sound dampening with a fat mat rattle trap. I love that stuff. Wait till you see how good this stuff works. Second episode was insulating with polyiso and vapor barrier with Reflectix. Then another one on paneling the walls and putting headliner in for the finished look. I did installing the roof with light stained tongue and groove cedar boards and installed the subfloor and hardwood floor on the top of that. I installed the Max Air Deluxe fan, cut a hole in my new Ford Transit van. That was, oh boy, wait till you see that one. Installing 2 Renogy 100 watt monocrystalline flexible solar panels. I wanted them really, really thin, and these things are like about 0.08, 0.07 inches thick, and they're flexible, so they literally hug the exact contours of my roof. Unless you're that high, you can't see them. And the more rigid type solar panels, they kind of ride up off the roof, and then they're about 1.25 inches or so themselves thick, so they more obvious. These things you don't really see that they're there. Also installed the controller, the inverter, the gel battery, and the monitor for that all. Installed the electrical panel and all the hookups. I got some really good LED lighting for the ceiling. It's got really good diffusion, and there are 6 of them. And I made sure they were dimmable. So one of the key things is I can dim the lights way down, and I can have a good amount of light if I need to. But I also got floor LED lights. So I've got these little runner lights that I've got so I can see my way. And I've got those dimmed too, but for the most part I plan on just having those on at night so I can always see where I'm going. I created the bed and the rear storage area, installed the electrical outlets and all the switches, created privacy window covers that also protect against the sun. I'm still tweaking on those, so I might make those as some of the enhancements. I had to install a privacy curtain between the driving cabin area and the living portion, and I got a really cool roller system for that. It's like an effortless little slider system. I really like that solution. And I used blackout material on one side and black felt on the other side, just so that if you looked inside the cabin area, you wouldn't, it looked black. And on the other side, it's gray, so it kind of matches the interior when I'm on the inside. But it's pretty cool. And the another key thing that I needed to do is I installed the safe. I needed a hardened safe. So I'm not going to show all the details of that, but I'll show you what I thought of and how I went about getting it fitted, but I'm not going to show you every little detail for obvious reasons. Now that I'm back, I have several enhancement episodes to make. The van was instrumental in me being out in the wilderness during my trip. I was able to come back after a day or two backpacking trip and get resupplied, charge all my batteries, spot check all of my footage and photos, and plan the next trip. I was very pleased with how the van performed on this trip and look forward to using it for quick getaways for backpacking and photography trips. Well, here's to a fun, exciting, and very productive remainder of 2018. I hope you all have a great day. Hangs for Fun, signing off. Remember, hang your own hang, and as always, happy hanging.